creeps up so fast. It really reminds me of my immortality every time we have to do the Time Got His clap.
Welcome to Forever in Bloom, and a cinematic investigation, exploration, and celebration of Jeff Goldblum. This week, we did a goof. We forgot a film. So we're not doing Fathers and Sons like we said we were last 2 weeks. We're doing Framed, a 1990 TV movie.
Was this a TV movie?
It was a straight-to-TV movie.
It's very, very much a TV movie. Can you not
it
feel
feels
that?
a lot like a... It feels very much like a TV movie.
I just thought
It felt
the
like an
editing was weird.
extended episode of a really naff, cancelled 90s detective show.
So who's going to say it then?
What?
Who's going to be the first person to say how they feel about this?
You.
I liked it.
Me too.
I was
liked
half
it as
expecting.
well. It was
Like,
alright.
Yeah.
Objectively, it wasn't a good movie,
Yeah.
but I
That's
enjoyed
true.
it and I had a good time.
Yeah, I am unapologetically quite happy about this one. There are just some really good lines in it that made me very happy. There were some very dumb jokes.
It is
Jeff
full
was
of
kind
dumb
of
jokes.
charming.
Yeah, I got big Jeff energy from this ep, to be fair.
Yeah, same. But do we want to try and explain the plot? It's quite simple, I think, sort of.
Beth, give us the
Yeah.
plot.
So we start with I can just never remember the names. What's Jeff's
Right,
name?
so we
in
got
this
Jeff
film?
plays Wiley. Then
Wiley.
you've got Kate, who's played by Kristin Scott Thomas. Jeff's
Yeah.
best mate, Pete, who's played by Todd Graff. And you have Elliot
She's-
Shane, who is our old friend Michael Lerner.
Brilliant. She's pretty good, I thought. They're all pretty
She's
good
great.
in it, I feel. There's a lot of, and there's, interesting cameos and, some good performances in there. So we start, we're introduced to their relationship a couple of years before where the main story happens. And she basically, we're led to believe that she portrays him. And so they're artists. They meet in a gallery. And he's a painter. She gets him involved in creating a fraudulent painting to be sold somewhere in Europe, and she leaves, and then the cops show up at his house straight away, and he gets arrested and put in jail. So then the rest
Interpol,
of the
isn't it?
narrative. Sorry?
It's just Interpol, isn't it? That turn up like big fucking stings.
Yeah. Is that what he said? I thought he said a weird word for the popo, Interpol.
Well, no.
confused.
Interpol are
Interpol is like
international police.
Yeah.
But they do
is that
serious.
what? Oh, okay.
They do serious crime,
Right.
and
Serious,
classic art
okay.
forgery is genuinely a very serious crime.
Yeah. Okay. So he believes she sold him out and has gone away with the money. They meet 2 years later. She claims to have spent all of the $5 million and claims to be on the run from this dodgy guy who's after her. And then he basically just gets roped into this crime drama narrative where they're sort of running away from the Yugoslavian guy.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
He is who's masquerading as a FBI agent called, what's his name? Agent Joke.
Agent Joke.
Joak, because it's what, Scandinavian or something?
I think he says
Yeah.
Danish, but yes.
He says it's Danish at one point. And then it's him and his best friend. His best friend's a bit of a goofy idiot who's
He's great.
He's
I love
also
him.
an
Old
artist,
Pete.
isn't he? He's trying to prove this theory that men are disattached from their emotional consciousness because of a biological part of their brain being different from women's brains.
Yeah, he has like two
Which is
brains
basically
and
that.
runs into Jeff's apartment. He's like, dude, look at these. What's the difference? And he's like, I don't know. One's a woman. He's like, yes, see. And he's like loses his shit over the fact that men apparently biologically don't have the ability to understand emotions.
Yeah.
And then there's a wedding, and she pretends to get married, and have I jumped a bit? Have I skipped a bit?
I mean, a little bit,
The
but like
plot's
not
kind
too
of
much. It's
confusing in the end. In the end, it kind of confused me.
He's like wanting to get revenge and like inflict his vengeance upon her, and then when he finds her again, he follows her and sees that she goes back to this crazy mansion in this like flash car, and finds out that she's like to be wed to what's his name? Something Shane? Elliot Shane. It's Michael Lerner, who's like a big crime boss. But apparently it's just some long con she's playing to steal a painting that he has and get Jeff to forge it. Because in her own words, when the forgery went wrong last time, what else can I do to make it up but to do it again?
Yeah. And we never really know if she's telling the truth or not, which is interesting about her character.
Full of... Yeah, because the agent joke is actually this hitman that's like after Kate, and his name is Zucky Bodek, which I'm convinced they called him that just so they could make the soapy buttocks joke.
Which is, it's not even that close. It's not like Zucky and Soapy are like pretty different.
I think I missed that. What happens? They just say that instead of his name.
She just mentions his name, like, I've got this guy after me called Zucky Bodek, and he's just like, what do you mean about this guy Soapy Buttocks or whatever?
Yeah.
And just calls him Soapy
That's
Buttocks.
It's when they're in the bar, and then a moment later he appears.
Yeah. To be honest, like, Agent Joke, Zucky Bodek, whatever you call him, like, I absolutely loved his character. He was so insane. So we have Jeff as this amazing painter who can forge art well, you know, who can do like picture perfect copies of master painters. Yeah.
We have her name's Kristin, isn't it? That's the actress's name.
Kate
was the character. She's like a fixer sort of for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then this guy Zucky Bodek, I hope I got that right.
Yes.
He's just one of the most unhinged characters I think I've ever seen in anything.
Yeah,
and
he really
everyone
is.
else is played quite straight.
Yeah.
And there's actually, I know it's early, but I just want to bring up in that bar scene when he appears behind her when Jeff has gone to get their coats and someone sat on their coats and whatever. Yeah,
which is also a wild line in there that I'll explain after you say this.
But he appears behind her, and he goes on like a long thing about that some people go crazy about whether they're being watched or not being watched, but just to let you know, you are being watched. So like, enjoy. Yeah. Like, you don't have to worry about being crazy about it. You are being watched. I thought that was
there's some humility in that. I
think if played in a darker way, that would be a terrifying character.
Yeah. I know he is meant to be, because he's meant to be like, she's terrified of him, but he's also just hilarious in all of his delivery. But in that moment where Jeff goes to get their coats, because he's like trying to swindle her, but he can't help but fall in love with her again, basically. And then she's like, grab our coats to go back to his. And then he goes up to this couple, and he's like,
excuse me. Yes. Sitting on our coats.
We're not sitting on your coats.
If you knew us, you'd know. We do not sit on coats.
Brilliant.
Yeah, the whole film was full of lots of strange little phrases like that. One of my other ones I just want to throw in. It was right at the beginning as Jeff's working in his bar job that he doesn't like very much by the looks of it, that he quits.
Yeah.
In like 2 minutes. There's just a delivery happening, and a guy just says,
"Yeah, I got also, broccoli. Unbelievable, this broccoli. The size of shrubs."
And there's just lots and lots of little things like that off in the background.
It's such a TV movie. I will say, films like this gave me, as a younger guy, like an unrealistic expectation of what people that follow a creative career can afford in terms of housing and flats and all this sort of thing. Because Jeff is just like this artist and his mate who lives in the same building as him is like a struggling artist, and they live in these awesome like warehouse style like industrial buildings or whatever.
His apartment is the apartment of my dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've all grown up.
I would commit actual felonies to have one of those.
We've all grown up believing that if you become a creative, you can live in cool loft-style apartments, but it's not true.
Studio apartments.
It's not true.
They're in France, by the way, again.
Yeah, I know. It's another one of those like whimsical Americans in Paris.
Oh, yeah, sorry. And then they're in LA, aren't they?
Are
Yeah.
they?
It's San
Yeah.
Francisco, I think, isn't it? I don't know.
Because they show the Eiffel Tower at the start and the end, or is it they
Yeah.
return?
They go back to Paris at the end.
But they're in the same flat.
Nah. Well, yes, they moved to the same flat that they did leave.
No,
yeah.
as in from when Jeff's before he goes to prison, after he goes to prison, it's the same place.
Not at all.
No,
Yeah, it's a different continent, mate.
I never
It's-
made that clear.
It's I think they did. I mean, the name of the city flashed up on screen,
Oh wow!
and it showed what San Francisco looked like in the late 80s as opposed
Wow, that's
to
crazy. Good job, Liam.
Paris. But no, so they live in Paris because Paris is the city of love or art or something. And then he gets arrested by Interpol and he spends 2 years in prison, which is not very long.
No, for like committing international art forgery.
Yeah, that seemed like he was let off quite nicely.
Big time.
And then he's in San Francisco, who knows why, and then he's living in a warehouse, and then he bumps into Kate. Maybe on purpose, it's unclear.
This long con ensues, basically, of trying to mug
Yeah.
off Michael Lerner to get this painting and swap it out with a forgery and sell it to some dude, even though in the end it turns out to be a fake anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
she leads him
that's-
into a gallery which has robots doing somersaults in, which I
There was a
appreciated.
robot that looks like it keeps trying to stand up and it can't. And I
thought I
watched
dreamt that.
that
It didn't
scene
really
like
make much
4
sense.
times. I really
Wild.
like it. I would go to that place.
Yeah, definitely.
If
film
you
has,
told
like,
me
a-
there was a gallery I could go to that had a robot that was constantly trying to get up but never could, I would go, mostly so that I could liberate the robot.
I thought you were going to say so you would feel superior.
yeah, is that the only way Seb can feel superior is to go and see someone that can't get up?
Yeah, just a robot without any face or limbs. No, it does have limbs, but
Like
it's
no
just
spatial
rocking back and
awareness,
forth.
because then
Yeah.
Seb can be like, still, someone's more unorganized spatially than me.
Yeah, no, I'd go and I'd set it free because I don't believe in robot bondage.
I
That's a
like that
different
we
podcast altogether.
had a film. I like that we had a film that was about like artists and people doing underground things and people that represented like the underbelly of a city.
Creative
and
crime.
Creatives like bohemians. I love the outfits. I love the apartments. I love like the windows and like
It's very
how
90s, isn't
dusty
it? Like
everything
even
looked.
down to the soundtrack and the score, it's extremely 90s.
The soundtrack is one of my
Yeah.
least favorite aspects of this film.
It's all
I
just
felt like the music
drum
was
driven.
odd. It jumped around all over the place.
and
Yeah.
and
It
it
was
never
bizarre.
felt married to what was happening. Like
No,
Oh, never.
not at all.
Ever.
it was very weird. I also just want to point out he does take his cat out of the fridge
Excuse
at one
me?
point. When we're first introduced to his San Francisco warehouse apartment, you can hear a muffled meow, and then he opens the fridge, and then there's a bright meow, and he picks up a cat.
Wow.
So he
animal
had
cruelty.
a cat in the fridge.
I missed that. I was making eggs at the time while I was watching this film. So
You were making
there is a
eggs.
really- I was making eggs, yeah.
Oh, they squeeze really hard and they come out.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
human egg.
Yeah.
Elliot Shane, Michael Lerner's character, his henchmen are so bad in this movie that it gave me fucking life whenever they were on screen.
They were fun.
There's the moment where like Jeff confronts Kate at the crime lord's house where they announce they're getting married, saying like, basically, give me the money you stole off me 2 years ago, and you'll never have to see me again. And these henchmen think that he's trying to like shake her down, so they follow him to Jeff's house and like beat the shit out of him in this like really weird forced slow-mo scene.
Yeah.
Of, like, it's like they shot like 3 punches and were like, fuck, we need more than this. Let's just slow the fight scene down. And they're awful actors. Their delivery is garbage, but their lines are like, don't worry, we're not going to kill you too bad.
Did you catch
think
the
that was-
sound effect when he did the roundhouse kick?
Yeah, when he went, hey, yeah!
Yeah, if you could do me a big favor and just drop that in here, that would make me very happy. Because it sounds like it's ripped straight from another film.
Yeah, like straight, just got like a Bruce Lee DVD or whatever.
Yeah, and like the guy's voice is very low, and then it's a really high pitched.
And he doesn't even kick Jeff; he just kicks a bit of wood out of his hand.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it was all maybe intentional to kind of guarantee that there was actually going to be no, like, they weren't going to be taken seriously at all, to make the whole thing a bit lighthearted. So there's no
I wish
real
there
threat.
was more of them. I know we haven't done like one change in like 10 episodes, but that would be my one change, is more of those henchmen.
Oh yeah, okay.
I forgot about the one change.
We were doing that.
Yeah. We've abandoned bits along the way.
I like the moment where Kate approaches Wiley.
Wiley.
He's not going to be called Willy.
It's a name, Liam. I like when she approaches him in the gallery when they first meet, and she just says, "Has anyone ever told you that from behind you look like a paintbrush?"
What a great first line to introduce yourself.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and she's wearing a huge hat.
There is something I noticed in this, is that Jeff, with his like fucking primo surf hair, would have made a great George of the Jungle, like 90s George of the Jungle.
Do you know what? Don't get me excited about that kind of thing. Because I wish
that would be glorious. I mean, granted, Brendan Fraser in 2000s did a great job.
True,
but give me that give me the Jeff of the Jungle. That's what everyone needs.
Do you know what? Well, what his hair made me think of personally was that I would have liked to see him in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat instead of Donny. Is it Donny Osmond?
I think it was Donny Osmond that was in it, yeah. There's like fucking 60 versions of that movie out there.
Well, there's only one true one.
They've made his hair incredibly frizzy. It's very, very frizzy. Like, frizzier than we've ever seen it.
You know, it was probably just after Mr. Frost, you know, when he had those like Gaston vibes with the ponytail the whole time. So
well, and also, he's still in Paris at the beginning. Like, do you think that Jeff just wanted to live in Paris for a year or two?
I think so, because there's so many movies in this like late 80s, early 90s period where he's playing like whimsical American falling in love with a British woman in Paris. Like,
yeah, which is a genre I could watch more of, to be honest. As long as it's only Jeff doing it. And yes, it was Donny Osmond that played Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Make sure I never watch that again.
It's a good one. It's a good film.
Jesus, there is one moment which I thought was fucking ridiculous. It made me laugh quite a lot.
I
still don't. But no, one moment that I didn't know whether it was meant to be intentionally funny or not.
Okay.
The moment was when they set up the moment where Jeff is going to start forging the painting that they're going to swap out, and you see that there's like this big montage of Kate taking the photos and Jeff with his forgery set up to this like high school summer montage music that's playing, and Jeff has his light set up there with a projector with the painting ready to like trace it with the charcoal, and then the first line he makes, and they really quickly cut away from it, but the first line he makes is so fucked. It's just not even close to the line he's meant to be copying. It's just completely like wafty.
I don't think they were expecting anyone to look at it in that amount of detail.
Because they cut away quick once
I
once the line
noticed that. I did
fucks
catch
up.
that.
I don't think any of these films were designed to be dissected to the extreme amount that we go into.
Especially not straight to TV comedy crime movies.
I think it was absolutely a bit slapdash, most of them.
Do you know what the budget was for this? I don't know if you looked into it, Beth. Like, I don't know if it's on IMDb, the Internet Movie Database.
While you're looking for the budget, I do just want to bring up a line that Jeff says that I really like his delivery, which is that he's there's one moment where he's sort of trying to fight back against his newfound love for her. And he's talking to his friend / warehouse mate. And he says, "I learn from mistakes, and I definitely learn from mistakes." Which is just the wildest line to include.
That was probably one of my favourite dumb jokes, because it's kind of done as like Jeff is the straight man to his best mate Pete being like the goofball, isn't it? And there's a moment where there's the big like double swap sting at the end, which every crime thing has to have, where there's a dude that sneaks into their building and they like turn the lights off, and Jeff's mate Pete comes in. It's just like,
leave your hands where they are.
But you don't know where his hands are.
That's true.
and I just thought it was a beautiful moment.
One
It's
of my
silly,
other
isn't it?
favorite. Yeah, it's just it's a silly good time.
One of the baddies is about to punch Jeff in the face. He doesn't manage to, but when he holds his fist up, he has a knuckle duster that says "don't" on it. What a statement.
I did not see that.
Just don't.
I wish knuckle dusters didn't have such a stigma. I feel like they're quite cool.
It's like a
of a fashion
4-piece ring,
statement.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a big bar.
You get ones that just say like "suck out." That'd be great, wouldn't it?
I would wear one if I wouldn't get like arrested for wearing one.
I don't. You can buy rings that are like that aren't
Yeah,
knuckle
just
dusters.
don't slam it into someone's face. That's what gets you arrested.
Oh
Yeah,
wait, so
they're
I
not
don't
illegal.
slam it into someone's face.
No. It's not
Yeah,
like a
that's,
skin.
That's why his knuckle dusters say don't. It's to remind him what not to do.
Not to, okay.
He looks
okay.
at his fist like he's going to slam a guy in the face, and it says "don't," and he's like, "Ah, I won't."
Right, it all makes sense now. Okay.
Also,
This
in
film
one of
is
those
sold.
scenes, one of in the setup for the wedding, one of the very quick cutaways as they're like infiltrating, a man just has water pouring off of his face.
Yeah, I thought, because I had like looked at my phone for a second and looked back and saw water pouring off his face. I assumed someone like threw a drink in his face.
No, maybe, but off camera. Before that maybe happened, but we didn't see it. We just saw it coming off of his face.
That's insane. The guy editing this movie was on crack.
Yeah, there are so many bad edits, but I kind of love them. Like the sad bar montage at the beginning, it just showed guys doing, burly old men having a time in a bar.
Guys being dudes.
Just guys being dudes.
There was also a really weird moment when Pete is like masquerading, Jeff's mate is masquerading as like the chef, because he's the one that's going to go and like, delivers the cake at the wedding so we can go and swap the paintings. And he's obviously been told about like the trap door to where the painting's behind, and he goes in, finds the switch and hit the switch, and it doesn't do anything.
This is my favourite part of the whole
I don't
film.
know if this is a callback or something. I don't know if I missed something, but
There's absolutely no context to this.
He stares at his finger, walks out of the room, does a 360 turn, walk back in, presses the switch, and it works. And then he just stares at his finger in like amazement.
There's absolutely no context for that. There's no foreshadowing. It's not a Chekhov's gun. It's just a thing that they
It just
decided
is.
to put in, and it's my favourite part of the whole film, baby.
This film is like a rough cut, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
really weird. And then there's the film like wraps up nicely with them back in Paris and selling authentic fakes.
Yeah, I don't quite know what the legality of that is, but who cares?
Wild.
Or are they saying that they're fakes so that people think they're real?
No, because
Oh.
like they have like the place where Jeff paints on one side of the road and like the gallery on the other side of the road.
Yeah.
And it says like faux paintings. Like they are fake paintings. And then the woman walks in to her husband who's there and he's like, but these are all fake. And she's like, yes, but they're authentic fakes. Like what the fuck? Is that just like the biggest hustle and everyone in like 90s France is a fucking idiot? How have they done that?
Honestly, at that point in time, I was kind of glad that something good was happening.
Yeah,
for Jeff
I felt the
and
same. I
Kate.
felt just like slightly relieved that something good had happened. Relieved it was sort of getting over, and just happy for the guys. They clearly don't want much in life apart from money. That's like their
unspeakable amounts of money.
Yeah, but that's like usually characters in films are searching for something a bit more profound, to reach the end of an emotional journey or to gain some knowledge about themselves or someone else. Whereas they literally, all they want is money. That's all any of them care about.
And they enjoy the thrill of
Thrill of the
art
chase.
forgery.
Yeah, but you could tell with the whole summer montage that he was coming to life when it came to like doing forgery again. By the way, have you seen the the poster for this movie because Jeff has got some like full-on fuck me eyes. It's absolutely insane.
I haven't, but I'm going to look
I
for
don't know
it
if
right
I want
now.
to.
Don't
think I
read
need
the
to see
tagline that's on it though.
Okay, I won't. I'll look afterwards.
It will be the episode photo.
Okay.
We'll have to wait.
I gave it a 6.5 out of True Bloom. I kind of got some big Jeff in this.
God, are you expecting me to have the spreadsheet open?
Yeah, it's literally your one job.
I have multiple jobs to do.
2 jobs. This
I
and
have,
Bloomiverse.
I have like I also time how. Do you know how much effort it is to time how long he's in every one of these films?
I am so surprised you've kept that going for this long.
I think it gives
you.
you an advantage because it means you're watching it far more intently and closely than us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would have fully ditched doing that by
can't
now.
be distracted while I watch. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I can't do it. I'm not joking. I have my phone open in one hand with the timer app, and I just press it every time he appears or stops. Like proper. I should get a dedicated stopwatch.
Yeah,
but I just haven't.
One around your neck that's got like a whistle attached to it or whatever, in case there's any violations.
Yeah, exactly. No one will hear it.
Yeah, well, it's just.
I watch these on my own.
I'll know.
You won't.
I'll hear it on the wind.
You just
Hear a
won't,
wi-
I'm afraid.
You just got to believe.
I gave it a
so,
6.
6.
Look, you got to slow your roll. I'm putting
How
in the
long
algorithm.
does it take you to open a spreadsheet?
I've opened it, but I need to set the maths for the new.
Oh
the new,
my
The new.
God.
It's gonna take like a second.
That's fine. Take all the time you need, mate. It's not like we're running a show here or anything.
It's not live. It just usually I'm vaguely prepared.
No, you're not.
just-
No, you're not.
Occasionally,
Seb, we've done
I'm
this 21
prepared.
times.
I know. Actually, more because we lost 2 episodes.
Oh, God,
Okay. Okay, Liam. What are your scores?
Seamless. I gave it 6.5 for True Bloom.
Okay, that seems pretty good. I think.
Yeah,
I
big
always
Jeff in
forget
this.
that we can do decimals, and then it
You
comes
started
to
this
it.
decimal
Beth,
system.
you do decimals almost every week.
Do I?
Yes.
I feel like I shove in the decimal when we're talking about it, but I never write it down before.
I see.
Also, I hope you know what
Usually-
you've got coming up later, mate.
What, me or Beth?
Beth. And I'll leave it at
Oh,
that.
I recall.
I know.
Okay, good.
I know.
Okay, good to know.
Good.
Just checking.
Okay. Good.
How do you bloom it, Beth?
I bloom it a 6.
Nice.
I bloom in 6.
I gave it a 7 because
That is high.
it was just very. I was intensely charmed by him today.
I feel that. No, he just George of the Jungle vibes, mate.
Is this True Bloom just turning into when he's not a scumbag? We give him more.
Well,
I
mean-
feel like that's where it's going.
It's not our fault. It's just been what we've had to deal with over the last 10 years of movies.
yeah. So I actually gave it only a 4 for Craft because I thought it was edited badly.
Yeah, I also gave it a 4. I match you there.
I gave it a 5.
Okay.
I think it's because I have this like weird nostalgia for 90s TV movies because my mum used to watch a lot of them on TV when I was younger.
That's how I feel about murder mysteries for the exact same reason.
You and your Poirot, mate. I know that you've got a deep love for Hercule.
The Poirot theme tune is one of the greatest pieces of music that has been written by mankind, and I will not hear any arguments against it. It's so good. And I actually gave this an 8 for enjoyability. I had a great time. I really enjoyed myself.
Enjoyability, I gave it a 6.
Okay.
I
'Cause
gave it a
that's-
5.5.
I think that...
A 5.5.
Did you just sneak
Yeah.
that in now?
Yep. I like the subject matter. I like the focus around art and showing art within a city. I find that engaging. Engaging content compared to what usually the films are about.
Yeah, that's fair. We have a relatively highly ranking one today.
Wow, that's a change.
We're at number 5.
No way.
5?
This is-
Really?
Yeah. And it's beaten by only good films, generally. It's beaten by Between the Lines, which we watched what feels like 7 years ago at this point.
Yeah, it really does.
It was then also The Big Chill, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and The Fly.
That's fair. I mean, like, this has been a nice, like, brief bit of fresh air. I wouldn't say completely fresh, like it's a little bit stale, but a nice bit of half fresh, stale air compared to what we've had to deal with before.
Yeah.
There have been some very bad ones, especially in recent weeks.
Yeah, these last few weeks have been a bit rough, I can't lie.
So, well, actually, according to these scores, every film since The Fly has been rated badly until this one.
Yeah, that tracks.
I mean, The Fly set an incredibly high precedent. It's pretty hard to beat.
Well, and the
after
fact
that
that the Fly was immediately followed by Vibes,
Yeah.
and Earth Girls Are Easy, and then The Tall Guy, and The Mad Monkey, and Mr. Frost, and then The Favour of the Watch, and The Very Big Fish, and now Framed. So we've gone on a little bit of a
bell curve. A reverse bell curve.
We've gone for a stroll down the valley, and we're maybe hopefully coming back up right now until we then reach what I have to assume our next peak is going to be with Jurassic Park.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope so. Well, we know it will be.
There's as many films between today and The Fly as there is between today and Jurassic Park.
So Seb, what's your give us the Bloom? Give us the Bloomiverse.
So, not to peer too deeply behind the curtain, but I actually spent this morning writing a paragraph of Bloomiverse stuff for not this film.
Oh, wow.
But I think this one... So, correct me if I'm wrong, but we haven't seen much of Jeff being an artist yet, have we?
We've come close, like, similar. He's done some creative things, and he's...
Yeah, we've had him acting, we've had him as a writer, but I feel like this is him as a painter for the first time.
Yeah, this is him
We've
fully diving
obviously
into his creative side.
Had him as a musician, and I mean, I think that if he's going to learn everything about the human race, which I currently believe is one of his goals, what is closer to the true soul of humanity than art? You know, let me put my little French hat on and snoot my glasses up a bit.
Your cigarette extender.
Yeah. And you know, there's just something about art that connects to the heart. You know, they even sound the same. And so I think this is part of his quest to understand people. And he's not just doing like bedroom sketches. He's copying like genuine masters of the craft.
That is true. So he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, you know, he's clearly spent some time doing this, and where better to do it than Paris, you know?
Do you think maybe this could allude to another one of Jeff's lives that maybe we haven't seen yet, of him spending some time with master painters to learn the craft?
I have to assume so.
Because he knows what he's doing. I mean, say that, the only thing we've seen him doing is the first line of a painting that he royally fucked.
I mean, that's the only thing we've seen him doing in real time. We have seen him.
It's in the results.
We've seen the supposed results.
Yeah.
You know, but that's movie making magic.
That's movies, baby.
Do you want a fun trivia fact about films?
Oh, this is going to be some garbage, isn't it?
If the actor is painting and you can't see the canvas, it might not be the actual painting that you see later. Wow.
Shut up.
You know, movies are magical. They are a realm of possibilities beyond our own. Because if I was to paint something and you couldn't see the canvas, I would have no way of switching it out to someone who could paint. So that's why you have editors and set designers on set on the film to make a good film. Trivia.
You should start a trivia blog, a film trivia blog with facts just like that. I think it'd be really interesting.
Look, I'm here to support education in the arts.
I want you to know, if you dedicate your life to that blog, I will dedicate my life to getting that blog taken down. Sure. Taglines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, number 1, he was a connoisseur, she was a con artist. They both may end up convicts. Number 2, forgery or fungery. Number 3, cheating sweetie or sweeting cheaty.
Sorry, could you... I feel like my ears just malfunctioned.
Which one would you like again?
Just all of them, please.
All of them. All of the above.
Number 1, he was a connoisseur, she was a con artist. They both may end up convicts.
Okay.
Number 2, forgery or fungery. Number 3, cheating sweetie or sweeting cheaty.
The all of those things strung together have had the same effect on me as sticking a paperclip into the reset thing on a phone, on like an old MP3 player or something.
What is a sweeting cheaty?
Someone that's sweet and cheats.
But then what's a cheating sweetie?
Someone that's
Someone that
like
cheats but
someone that's
is
sweet,
sweet.
but they're cheating
It's
about
not like
it.
the same thing.
Different.
Sweeting cheaty or cheating sweetie is the same thing.
Like, are you an actual sweetheart that just happens to cheat? Or are you cheating the fact that you are a sweetie?
What truly one of humanity's oldest questions. Scientists still don't know how that, It's the first one. It's the first one.
Beth?
I want it to be number 2, but
What, forgery or fungery?
yeah, but I think it's probably number 1.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I didn't know there was a tagline on this movie because IMDb didn't tell me there was one until I looked and saw there was one on the poster. So I wrote these about 3 minutes ago.
You wrote both of them.
Yeah, about 3 minutes ago. So you got it right.
Amazing.
Nice.
Oh my
Nice.
God.
Does not surprise me this week.
Liam.
Hey, don't you dare sully my victory.
I won't
This never
take away
happens.
your small victories. Although now you know this, you're free to look at the poster, to look at Jeff's absolute blue steel.
I do want to see that, actually.
Because swift transition, that's probably my golden bloom. It was either going to be his primo surf hair or...
Oh, wow.
Now I've seen the poster. That absolute blue steel fuck me eyes, I think is my my golden bloom.
The way that he's like biting down on that
Ooh.
paintbrush.
Yeah, dude.
I want that tattooed on like my chest.
Oh my God.
That's my golden bloom. Seb, what's yours?
Mine is... mine was going to be the guy who, with the turning around with his finger.
Oh, right, yeah. But that's not Jeff.
That's not Jeff. I know. I'm aware. That's why I said it was going to be.
Another good moment that Jeff does is when how he finds out that Agent Joke is Soapy Buttocks, because he stands on his shoe and realizes there's no toes there.
And he just keeps stepping on his foot, like
with the squeakiest
repeatedly.
shoes known to man.
Yeah. The sound that his shoe made when he stepped on it was like the creaking of an old battleship or something. It was very strange.
It's funny you say that. I thought that was my first one. There was something incredibly sinister about him pressing his foot onto the shoe.
Yeah, well, Beth needs to do 4, so we can maybe strap in for Beth's 4 golden blooms.
Well, that's my first one. So you stole my first one. Seb stole my second one earlier because my second golden bloom was when he pulls the cat out the fridge.
No, they're allowed to be repeats. It's fine. They're just your favourite moments. They're allowed to be repeats.
If I'd known that, I would have copied you both each week. But
oh, I see.
And then I've also got he does a car slide over the bonnet before he gets arrested by the Interpol, and he's in his pants. He's like that scene where he's like running and you've got the Eiffel Tower in the background, and he's in like his underwear and his dressing gown, and then this car pulls up and he just like somehow manages to slide on top of the car, over the moving car, lands, and then he gets arrested. It was probably the most action we've ever seen him. Action vibes.
Did you notice that they filmed that chase scene down I forgot the name of it. It was just on the tip of my tongue. It's a famous strip in Paris, which is also like where major scenes in Inception were filmed and all sorts of other films.
Yeah.
It's those pillars. They go on for like a mile or something.
Maybe it's in the same universe as Inception. Who knows?
Man, honestly, sometimes it does all feel like a bit of a fever dream.
Was that 3 or was that 4, Beth?
That was 3. My 4th is when he does some. So my guy, he's in the jazz bar, slams a watch down on a table and stops the jazz for a minute, and that was brilliant.
He gets very
I like
angry
watching him in a
watch.
film where he stops jazz music, because I don't think that will happen again, and it hasn't happened in the last 19 films.
He's been the one that has created the jazz in...
He's usually always like getting up there, like getting on the piano, getting in all people's shit, and
being the
doing
jazzman,
babbity boobity, all that shit. And in this film, he halts it. He ends the jazz only for a second, and then it comes back again in its vile quantity.
And the timing's on point for a live band.
Yeah.
No, I'm proud of you, Beth. I didn't think that you would actually get 4 out of this.
Thank you. Because I knew if I tried and got like 2 or 3, you'd then make me do 10 for the next film. So I was like, I've got to just power through with this one.
Yeah. And you're right, I would have.
Yeah.
So what was yours? I think we both completely interrupted you and you never got to say yours.
Do you know what? You did, and that's fine.
I'm sorry, Seb.
So when he appears at the wedding, specifically to make the henchmen notice him, the way he sprints through that building just made me really happy. He's like really like overacting and like doing like almost cartoon like skids when he's turning corners.
Interesting, because this is then the middle ground now, because we know present Jeff can't run like a human.
Yeah, well, and this is why I wanted to bring this up.
He bops, whereas there was, I think it was the one with where he doesn't sleep. What was that film called? The one where his wife cheats on him and he doesn't sleep.
Oh God, that was an
Into the
eternity
Night?
ago.
Into the Night, that's it. Yeah, in that one we see him running in the longest slacks known to man, and we see him running normally. So there is obviously a change between that movie and present day Jeff that stopped him running. And in this one, he's running like a cartoon. Do you think, maybe not to steal any of the thunder away from your Bloomiverse, my dude, but do you think maybe every time he is in a new body, there's certain skills that he can't carry over? So like things like running, he needs to relearn every time, and he learns it from a different source. And the current Jeff that we have is one that learnt how to bop. This Jeff only watched cartoons, and he's like, feet don't fail me now, before he runs everywhere and winds up.
So there's like to get like slightly in the weeds for a moment.
Please.
There's a sort of I don't know the best way to like succinctly sum this up, but in the real world, within the study of transhumanism, where we're looking at prosthetics and the idea of being able to simulate human minds in robotics, there is a study around the dissociation of mind to body.
Right.
Where by changing the vessel that you're in, you're not fully yourself anymore. And you have to relearn how to do things.
Yes.
So like if someone gets a prosthetic leg, or if someone gets reconstructive surgery on a moving part of their body, they have to go through that rehabilitation, like physio, to learn how to do it again.
Reteach the brain, because I guess like it's a vessel
you're making new
dropped
pathways.
Into. Yeah. So he needs to do that every time.
Yeah, so I think, just before we see him in any of these films, there should be like a training montage of him like teaching his new body how to
run, how to walk.
How to run, how to walk, how to eat, how to love.
And I guess, he
all
has
sorts
no
of things.
memory of how he learnt to do that in his last life. So then he just uses a different source each time. So he learns to run in a different way. Source as in SOURC, not as in he runs through mayonnaise.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Is this turning into like a Doctor Who like regeneration type thing?
Well, that's like the current thesis that Seb brought to us, was that each one we see is a different life, like a different a different version of Jeff that his consciousness has been chucked into, rather than the same Jeff hiding throughout time.
And I don't think it's always a new one. I think there are periods of time when it will be the same vessel before that one gets killed. Or
I guess
something.
we've had like timelines that run concurrently, haven't we?
Yeah.
Like being a writer, then going over here and being like a music writer
and
or whatever.
and then he tries something a bit more dangerous. He gets absolutely brained by someone.
Yeah, we've had a couple of doctors,
and then
scientists.
he jumps into a new body.
I like that.
Which I have so much to talk about the film that we're not talking about right now.
Is that the one that we missed?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
it is.
so fucking cards on the table. We've opened this can of worms. Let's fucking lie in it. We missed 2 films. We missed this one, and somehow we missed the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which was in the 80s somehow.
We've also missed Beyond Therapy, but
that wasn't our fault.
That's true.
That was due to lack of access. But so in the next maybe week or so, there'll probably be another bonus ep coming your way of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, an 80s film.
Also a TV movie.
Is it? Is that maybe why? Do you think it's like TV movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't show up on the list.
We've got
correctly.
a blind spot for TV movies or something. Who knows?
I don't know if either of you two have watched that yet, and I don't want to give a spoiler for the
I
next
have, yeah.
episode.
I haven't yet.
But
I got up really early and watched it this morning.
I also watched it in bed this morning, and then wrote I think 400 words of Jeff Goldblum fan fiction.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Which
Fan fiction?
yeah,
Like actual
like-
fan fiction?
Seb, how many hogs?
this one is hogless.
Oh, coward.
Or,
I
give
like
it
I say
time.
this one. Oh, is it an anthology?
This is the first chapter. Who knows?
Is this going to be like an ongoing thing that you add to your Jeff fanfic every week?
Maybe
And it's like
maybe.
Seb's fanfic corner.
Well, maybe it's just what the episode descriptions are from now on are just fan fiction that I write about.
We could close every episode with a nice piece of music, like a lullaby, and you like doing a dramatic reading of your fanfic.
Don't tempt me, because I will. Well, and
Listeners, let us know if that's something you want or if that's something you absolutely despise.
We'll do a
well,
poll.
my reasoning is this next film, which is The Legend of Sleepy Hollow,
Yeah.
is the earliest we've ever seen him in time.
Interesting.
It's the earliest in human history that we've witnessed him.
Okay. Beth, if you because you do the socials, could you put a poll on our Instagram asking whether the listeners would like Seb's dramatic readings of fan fiction, and then if listeners could go on there and let us know, that would be beautiful.
Already done it. No, I
think-
haven't done it, but I will do it.
I've been thinking a lot about getting into audiobook reading. Maybe these will be my audition tapes.
Me too, man.
I feel like it would be quite a fun job, you know.
Yeah, easy. Probably not easy.
It's not.
Depends
it's
what sort of
from-
books. I couldn't be doing any dramatic, not any like actual story books, but like talking about the life cycle of a sunflower. Fucking hit me up.
No, I'll read stories to help people go to bed every night. I'll do
Yeah,
the
but I've
voices.
heard like your voices, mate.
Yeah, but you've only heard them in a casual setting. You've not heard.
You have
them.
2 voices. You have awful Michael Caine and baby voice. And if there's any more characters that aren't bad Michael Caine or baby, you're fucked.
Yeah, if I was to hear you reading an audiobook and I was trying to fall asleep, I don't think I'd be able to. Not because of your current voice, Seb, but because there would always be the risk that you would perhaps slip into baby Seb. And I just don't think I could ever fall asleep knowing that could potentially invade my dreams.
Yeah, I would
So-
immediately wake up and hurl my phone into the sun if
I
you
think,
would do
Yeah,
baby
I'd have to
voice.
yeet.
Into the
something
toilet
or
I
for
think
everyone.
there'd have to be like
maybe
a
myself.
professional contract where you know how like some fast food chains aren't allowed to add certain ingredients to their foods.
Yeah, or can't use certain words.
I feel like you're so sneaky.
Yeah.
You'd like work a loophole in the contract, and you'd end up doing like toddler Seb or something, and it would just be
Yeah,
awful.
like he'll only do but like readings of Boss Baby or Look Who's Talking Too.
Those are films and not audio. Those aren't books.
You can have novelizations of films. You
Liam?
troglodyte.
No one has ever No one will have ever written the novelization of Boss Baby.
Fucking, I bet you they have, mate.
Can we
I'm
not
not
talk
okay
about
with that.
Boss Baby? We're going to have to spend an hour talking about it.
Boss
I don't want to talk
Baby.
about it now.
Novelization.
Yeah, but Beth, we'll be in our 30s by that point, maybe.
The Boss Baby Junior novelization, Boss Baby movie. Suck out. It's on Amazon. It's a hardcover, and it's £17.
Oh my God.
£17. No, thank you.
£3 for the paperback.
Three?
Yeah.
That's a jump.
I might buy that. That's a bargain.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
I've had an idea for season 2 of this show.
We have seasons?
This is season 1.
Sure.
Season 2 of the show is when we finished all of his films. That's when season 2 begins.
Okay.
And we just watch them all again.
Oh, fuck you. That's never going to happen.
And we compare our thoughts then to our thoughts now. We do a retrospective of our own show.
Yeah, we listen to each episode of the show and do a
That's like
commentary
one
of
of
that.
the fucking dumb podcast series that you listen to, Liam. I just don't want to be subjected to that.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But they make money and we don't, so what does that say?
Well, yeah.
Well, because we do it for the love, Liam.
We're done, right? So,
Yeah.
thank you everybody for listening. The movie's 5th, I guess, which is a kind of a surprise. I thought it would be more middle of the road than that.
No, it's ranked pretty high, so
The next proper episode in 2 weeks will be Father and Sons. The one you expected this week, but there will be another episode out probably next Wednesday, which will be Legend of Sleepy Hollow as a little bonus. If you could do all the usuals, share the show, review on iTunes,